Daniel Jones will be a successful quarterback in the NFL. There are no two ways about it. Now look, I was with the rest of you when Dave Gettleman selected him 6th overall in the 2019 NFL Draft last year. However, following that selection, I began to do a lot of research on the pick, and I wrote an article of the reasons why I think that pick could have been the right pick and how Daniel Jones could be successful. And in that article, which I'll put the link to in the description below, the last sentence is, I am definitely rooting for the kid, and I want to see him succeed and make Gettleman look like a genius for drafting him. And I believe he did just that. While he has flaws, which I will go into, I believe his successes and strengths outweigh that. However, after the video, you can make your own educated opinion and let me know what you think. One thing that is unassailable is that Daniel Jones is great at going through his progressions. He always goes through them seamlessly, with alacrity, and that did transition really well into the NFL. This play shows that really well, and I will break it down for you. So first, the ball is snapped. His eyes immediately go to this receiver right here on the outside. He sees these two defenders right here, and he knows before he even finishes his drop back that's not a possibility. So then his eyes leave that guy right away. Then his eyes go into the slot to look at Cody Latimer right here. And then he sees these three defenders in that area, and so he knows that it's not that Cody Latimer is not a possibility either. But he sees this guy right here, jumping Cody Latimer's route. So he knows that Darius Slayton over here on the outside is going to be open before he even looks at Darius Slayton, because he sees this guy right here. And look, and then his eyes go to Darius Slayton right there, and then the next thing you know, he makes the throw. While that looks really slow when it's broken down, it is so much faster in real time. Like, look, boom, 1 read, 2 read, 3 read. He consistently goes through his reads so expeditiously. It's incredible, and there are copious examples of this as well. I'll go into one more after this, but I feel like this really encapsulates it really well. This play is another great example of Jones's ability to go through his progressions. As you can see here, the ball is snapped, and his first read is, I think that's Evan Engram in the slot right there, but he doesn't like what he sees. So instead of trying to force the ball to Engram, he instead goes to his next read, who in this case is Golden Tate, and he doesn't like what he sees there either. And so he waits for the routes to develop a little bit because he knows how much time he has, but then he quickly goes to see Benny Fowler over there, and then immediately he makes the throw. It's like doesn't like what he sees with Engram because both of these guys are bailing right here, and so he knows he doesn't have a shot, although he may look open right here. He's really not because of these guys here, and he doesn't even turn his head until here. So he doesn't force the ball there, which most rookies would do when they see that kind of open space, and that would be an interception. Then he goes to Golden Tate, who also is not open. He checks back with Evan Engram for fun, but then because he has so much time in the pocket, but then he looks at Benny Fowler and immediately makes a throw. I mean, this is some next level stuff. Rookies should not be able to do this. Again, look at how, and it just goes right fast. Boom, look, boom. The ball is basically out, like his hands are just a second behind his eyes. This is another great angle of it. 1 read, 2 read. Checks back with Golden Tate, doesn't like what he sees, boom, immediately. Not only does he go through his reads with alacrity, but he also throws the ball as soon as he sees someone who's open with alacrity. I mean, that's just pro ability. I mean, rookies are not supposed to be that good at that. It just shows how mature he is for being a rookie. That ability is so rare. The only time that Jones will ever lock his eyes on someone is when they're running a quick in or quick out. Generally, this is fine because the defensive back is out of the way. However, it is not that great of a strategy because there are some cornerbacks who will be able to jump them. This includes cornerbacks such as Stephon Gilmore. As you can see here, Jones just simply locks his eyes on Cody Latimer and knows that he's going to go to him right away. This is never a good idea against Gilmore. Don't ever lock your eyes against Gilmore's receiver because he will make you pay, as he does here. Gilmore has this all sniffed out. You'll see Gilmore and Latimer start going side at the exact same time. Gilmore is just that good. So this is just it's a simple fix. All that needs to happen is new offensive coordinator Jason Garrett needs to say, hey, don't lock your eyes so much when you're going against such a great cornerback, and even on quick outs and quick ins, don't force that throw, and the problem's solved. And then later that same game, you can really see that Daniel Jones really owned the short passing game. Like, he is amazing at that. This is a great example of that. Like, look, he goes through his trademark progressions. He first looked over here, and we've been over this, but he checks over here first. Then he goes all the way over to the other side of the field, quickly sees there's nothing going on there. Then he looks right here at Caden Smith, I believe, and fires that ball before the linebacker can go in. That is just perfect placement right there. Look, I'll show it to you from a better angle. Here. So look at how much his head is moving around back there. That is him going through his reads perfectly. And then look, he looks at him and then fires it. And then that ball is beautiful. That is a perfectly placed ball. Now look, Daniel Jones has his fair share of flaws. I'm sure everybody's aware of this. For example, one really common one is his fumble problem, which was not that good in the last year. But a decent amount of them were just due to miscommunication between him and the center or something like that. Just like completely botched snaps. Like, for example, this one. It's a little bit of a low snap, but he should be able to corral that. I mean, I'm sure this is fixable. I mean, it's kind of tough now with the whole corona situation, but normally in the offseason, I'm sure he would just call up his center. Also, the Giants don't know who their center is. I mean, I don't know who's going to start there. Nick Gates, Spencer Pulley, I don't think either of those guys should start unless they re-sign Jalapio or get that guard from Oregon to move over to center. I mean, but if they knew who their center was and he had time to work with them, I mean, he's just got to just take reps and rep after rep after rep of just getting the snap. Because if he can do that, he cuts down on a decent amount of his fumbles. Like this one. Just completely botched it. Simple as that. Another reason that he had for a lot of his fumbles was actually a mix of two things. He really wanted to make a play. He hates getting sacked because he knows it kills momentum, so he really never wants to get sacked. And sometimes he has bad technique moving around in the pocket. This is such example of a combination between the two. Generally, it's really good what he does in terms of keeping the play alive and keeping his eyes downfield. Although he has to be able to sense Chandler Jones coming in here and maneuver as such. Like that, Chandler Jones just came out of nowhere from him. And look, he also is just pumping the ball on his hand, which means that when Chandler Jones attacks, he's got only one hand on the ball, which is a big no-no in the quarterback world. And Dave Gettleman knows this. That's why he spent 2 of his top 3 picks on offensive linemen. And so he wants to make sure that Daniel Jones doesn't even have to worry about this stuff. However, he has shown some improvement. Let's take this play against the Packers. The ball is snapped, and he's looking downfield this entire time, and then this guy right here one of the Smith brothers is going to come here, and he's going to nicely steps up. He reaches out, but he has 2 hands on the football. That is really well done right there, and not to mention he makes a beautiful throw to Darius Slayton right after doing such. But this is exactly what he needs to do. If it wasn't for Smith's outreaching arm, he would have beautifully sidestepped him. And then even with his arm, he was able to maintain the possession of the ball because he had both hands on it. So, I mean, this shows just promise. Like, it's not a death sentence. A lot of people are talking about his fumbling issues as a death sentence, and it's really not. Like, look at this play, for example. I mean, if he was playing this the same way he played against the Cardinals, this would be a fumble. But he showed significant improvement, and so he still had possession of the ball and made a great play. Not to mention, even if it was a death sentence and it was impossible for him to fix it, which it clearly isn't, what did Dave Gettleman do in the draft? 2 of his top 3 picks are offensive linemen. So hopefully this won't even be a huge issue because he's going to have such a clean pocket all the time. Another thing that definitely should not be overlooked is Jones' ability to scramble and his mobility. This is something the Giants fans haven't had since Eli. As you can see, everybody's well covered, and this middle linebacker is distracted by Saquon. Normally, with Eli Manning, he would just have to wait for someone to be open. But with Daniel Jones, you cannot leave this much open space right down the middle of the field. He will take advantage of this, and as he does right here, he picks up the first down, and which is crazy because look at all the people who are running to him right now. He definitely should be tackled. I mean, this is partly to do with the incompetence of the Washington defense, but it also shows his ability as a runner, which Eli Manning definitely did not have. I mean, another great thing about Daniel Jones is his size. I mean, his size is truly remarkable. I mean, I think he stands at 6'5". I mean, someone whom he will be compared with a lot is Kyler Murray, because Kyler Murray went first overall in the class, where he went 6th overall. And I mean, look, Kyler Murray is a great quarterback, but I'll tell you this one play that he can't do because he's 5'10", and Daniel Jones has 7 inches on him. Where everybody thinks that height is just about seeing over the offensive lineman, and that is simply fallacious. Height is about so much more. It's about this. It's a lot about this throw right here. Like for example, look at this. Kyler Murray would not be able to make this throw. Zarius Smith is a big guy right there, and Daniel Jones is able to throw over him. Kyler Murray would not be able to make that play. That is a batted down ball if that is Kyler Murray right there. Now, look, I'm not saying that Daniel Jones is a better quarterback than Kyler Murray, because, I don't think that's true. But this play just shows the benefits of having a big quarterback. And you couple that with his mobility, and, that's a great play. That's a first down and a great play that's made possible by Daniel Jones's fantastic size. Jones is generally very careful with the football, which is for the most part is good because it leads to very few interceptions, although there are a couple downsides. For example, look at this play. It's just a little bit too safe because I don't know if you can see here, but instead this is like a 20-yard gain, I believe, 17-yard gain. They had an opportunity for a touchdown if Jones threw to this guy right here, because there's one safety all the way over here, so he probably could get a touchdown if he got a good angle. Instead, he just throws it right to here. I'm not complaining about this. He got the completion. That was his first read, and his first read was open, so he threw it to him. Although, it's just that this guy's right in his eyesight, and I would have liked him to try to push it a little bit more, and this would easily be a touchdown. But it's fine. I'm just nitpicking here. Another thing that he struggled with in the NFL was just adjusting to the talent that's in the NFL. There are a couple plays of him just being used to the competition he faced at Duke. And I'm sure he'll get used to the NFL talent over time. But it really did hurt him this year. This play is a great example of it. He's throwing it to Darius Slayton on the outside. And look, Darius Slayton has Byron Jones beat. Byron Jones just got a huge money contract from Miami. Right there, that's when Daniel Jones throws it. Byron Jones is behind. He should be open. And Daniel Jones puts it in the perfect spot for him to be open. It's just that Byron Jones is Byron Jones. He's such a good quarterback. In college, whenever you have someone, receiver beat a cornerback this bad, the cornerback can't recover as well as this guy can. So if he can just, and that actually caused a lot of interceptions. It actually caused 2 interceptions against New England alone when he was going up against Stephon Gilmore. And so Stephon Gilmore would just jump a slant route, and that would be an interception. So if he can just get used to the talent that he's facing on a weekly basis in the NFL, I mean, that would also cut down on both his incompletions, because there were a lot of incompletions caused by this, and interceptions as well. And one thing that's far more inconsistent than I'd like it to be with Daniel Jones is his deep ball accuracy. The majority of the time, the deep balls he throws are just uncatchable. Simple as that. He has great accuracy and great velocity and great touch in the short and mid parts of the field. However, when it gets deep, he gets far more inconsistent. For example, take this play. Look at Sterling Shepard going up this, making a beautiful route, beating Rasul Douglas, the cornerback right there. And look at where the ball is placed. The ball should be placed here. Okay, this is where the ball should be placed and hit Sterling Shepard in stride. Maybe if he can make this guy miss, he's got a touchdown. But he definitely has an opportunity for yards after catch if the ball's placed here. Instead, the ball is placed, instead of being placed here, it's placed here. That's a good 5 yards too shallow. Look at where it is in relation to the cornerback. I mean, if that's a better cornerback, that's an interception. I mean, that is just unacceptable. That's 5 yards away from where it should be. The ball should be on the 35-yard line. It's on the 40-yard line. However, there are times when it's better. For example, right here. This is a gorgeous throw to Darius Slayton down the sideline. See, here he is right there. He makes a nice route. And look at where the ball is placed there. The ball is perfect. Only his guy can get it. He's right down the sideline, just like his other one wasn't. So, I mean, he shows flashes of just being able to completely place it wherever he wants to. And then he shows flashes of missing his target by 5 yards. I don't know, maybe he has to work on his technique or something. But either way, I mean, it's so inconsistent. And there are a bunch of other examples of him making gorgeous throws, but there are even more examples of him making awful throws. However, if he can figure it out, then that ups his game by a long shot. For me, that's his biggest weakness when I was looking at his film. So if he can get rid of that, that would be outstanding. However, Daniel Jones is not all touch. He can also get power behind the ball when he wants to, which is, of course, very important for those sideline plays, as I'm about to show you right here. It's a play action, and then keep an eye on him. He's going to do a little bit of an out concept, and he's going to go right out, and the ball is going to be on a line right to him. Beautifully placed, and I think that's a catch worthy of toe drag swag via Nate Burleson on Good Morning Football. And that just shows that he can also put a little mustard behind the ball as well when he wants to. So if he can just work on his deep throws with touch and make them more like the second one and less like the first one, and combine that with the velocity he can also generate, I mean, that's a recipe for success in the NFL. I just wanted to end the video on this clip right here. This is an amalgamation of all of Daniel Jones's greatest qualities. He has everything we went through, all of his greatest qualities we went through in the video, and it's all right here. This play is a play made by a top-tier quarterback. This really shows his potential. And if he can live up, and if he can play more like this, then he's going to be a top 5, top 7 quarterback in the league. Look, I know this is one of his greatest plays, so expecting him to play like this all the time is unrealistic. But this is a Patrick Mahomes-esque play. So it's just a simple play action to start, and then he goes through his reads, just like we talked about, and he doesn't see anything. So instead of forcing the ball to a window that it doesn't belong in, which he never does, He just keeps the play alive with his mobility. His mobility is so underrated. And the Giants haven't had anything like it in a while. And he's able to escape the pressure. And on the run, make a gorgeous throw with that touch we just wish he could be more consistently accurate with. Right in the bucket to Golden Tate. That is everything that we were talking about, and this just shows how great of a quarterback he can be. This is truly incredible. The pocket's breaking down. He has two hands on the football right now, and he's holding it tight exactly as he's supposed to. Then he's got this huge guy chasing after him, and still has the wherewithal to make the throw, and that could not be placed any better. Look at this. From his this is when we first see Golden Tate. He's all like the Rasul Douglas is all over him, but Golden Tate gets the ball in the perfect location. This play is just outstanding. This is what Dave Gettleman saw in Daniel Jones when he selected him at the 6th overall pick. Someone who can make that play is worthy of the 6th overall pick. I mean, that is just wow. That is a Giants fan that makes me super optimistic about the future. So let's summarize. Daniel Jones' pros include his progression when he's making his reads, his short accuracy, which is outstanding, his maturity, which shows itself with his ability to grow during the season. And as a matter of fact, I didn't have time to go into it today, but there was also this game against Washington with 2 minutes before the half, right after like a skirmish, when everybody is like when the referees had to push everybody apart. He wasn't fazed by it at all, and he just marched his team down the field, took exactly what Washington gave him, nothing less and nothing more. It didn't force anything, and just really carried his team and really just showed the leader that he is. And I'm sure that now that Eli Manning is out of the picture, he's going to really feel more comfortable taking control of that locker room. He's also can throw with great velocity, and he also has the ability to throw with touch, which he does need to work on more, on the deep passes especially. His mobility and athleticism, which is really great and underrated and really rare for quarterbacks of his size. And then his size, which allows him to see over the line a little bit and make throws while defenders are all over him. Then his cons, which are fumbles, which I've broken down into botched snaps and not moving around enough. Botched snaps are obviously just need to be fixed with reps. And I have a feeling a lot of those botched snaps are because throughout the whole offseason, Eli was taking first-team reps with the center, and Daniel Jones didn't. And so that means that he had less experience taking those snaps from the center. And then not moving around enough, which includes him not having two hands on the ball at all time, which he has shown the ability to improve during the season, and according to him, he's been working a lot on it. And then also his consistency with deep passes. He just needs to figure out what the difference is between his successful deep passes and his unsuccessful deep passes. And then his adjustment to NFL talent, like when he was going against top-tier cornerbacks like Stephon Gilmore and Byron Jones, he has to understand whom he's going up against, and so he can really adapt and like not test them, because they will win if you test them the majority of the time. And then also, I mean, this is just me nitpicking because I want to have some fun as an NFL viewer, just sometimes being a little bit too safe and not pushing the ball downfield enough. But he does take a couple risks from time to time, and most of the time, more often than not, they pay off. So I'm sure that as he's more comfortable in the NFL, he'll feel more comfortable to take more and more risks. So everybody like and subscribe and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think, and let me know whom you want me to do next, because I'm going to try to do as many quarterbacks as I can. So let me know the quarterback that you want me to do. Okay, see you next time. Thanks for watching, and that was Micah's take.